As a kid, American comics put me off for a long time. I watched anime and read manga, but I wouldn't touch most American comics about women. The way they were posed, the way they were dressed, the overabundance of breasts and ass, it all served to make me avert my eyes and slouch away, to a different section of the bookstore. Sexism in comics may seem like an inconsequential topic, something to handwave about. Because of course comics are sexist, right? They're basically just skin mags for nerds is what you're thinking. Maybe you've read Superman or Batman or Captain America, the comics that are dominated by male figures, and you don't see it. If you read one issue of Supergirl, of Wonder Woman, of Power Girl, you might catch on to the problem. Female superheroes are portrayed as strong, as empowered women fighting against the evils of the universe. And that's good, but they're also portrayed as sex objects. When a woman who could punch you through a wall is also wearing the equivalent of a bathing suit with the cleavage cut out, you know something is going wrong. Sexism isn't just one person believing that they're better because of their gender. It includes gender roles assigned to us by society. In the book Men and Feminism, Terrence says, gender is something that is fluid and learned. We might come into this world with a penis or a vagina, but we're not born wanting to fix things with a hammer or carry a purse. We learn gender-appropriate behavior as we go along, or we don't and we might suffer for it. Gender is taught and reinforced through institutional arrangements that tell us how men and women should behave. It's cultural conditioning and no one is exempt. You might be able to see it in yourself, but there's no real way to avoid it. You have to choose, consciously, to defy those rules. Comics show both sides of the fight between conformity and defiance. On one hand, in the real world, girls mostly aren't expected to fight, or fight well. When girls fight in movies and on TV, the fights mostly consist of a lot of hair pulling, slapping, and clawing. Girls in comics know how to punch. They know how to take a stand and no one looks down on them for that. However, I have never seen a female superhero or a female supervillain who doesn't at least wear makeup or high heels or a dress in their normal identities. This is a straight-up gender construct showing through. You'd think that someone fighting for their life every day would want their vulnerable spots protected. Batman wears heavy armor, he's protected from neck to knee, and yet Batgirl's costume is merely skin-tight spandex. With some heroes, armor doesn't matter. Take Supergirl, for instance. She's as invulnerable as Superman, so she doesn't need armor. Her costume is also less revealing than some, depending on the decade. Her current costume, while not her most modest, is not her most revealing either. However, Power Girl is dressed almost exactly the same, only with a giant cutout for maximum cleavage viewing. The objectification of the female form has been going on since humans started creating art, showing them as nurturers with exaggerated breasts and sex organs. Many of these were representations of goddesses, powerful female figures worshipped for their strength and fertility. Somewhere along the way, the respect inherent in this disappeared. It made women into weak, delicate things to be sheltered and patted on the head condescendingly. Today it's easier to spot. The objectification is blatantly obvious in advertising, in young adult novels and TV shows, and in comic books. There have been arguments made that it's okay for women to be objectified because men are too. And it's true that there are male characters in comics and in other media that are obvious examples of this, but that doesn't make objectification alright. I truly enjoy comic books. I love them and I love the flawed, realistic characters. But I always notice when a character stops being themselves, stops being a human or alien being, and starts being something else. Something to look at with no consideration for their personality. Many characters have done things in their story arcs that make no sense when you look at who they are and who they have been over time. It's like the writers, who have spent so much time creating this characterization, have just abruptly decided that they're going to throw everything we know about this character out the window, just for a usually sex-related scene. Comic books are written for people. They are escapist in the best of ways. Maybe you work an office job and are bored out of your mind. A comic book can transport you to another world, where the guy sitting next to you is Clark Kent, where you yourself can be something more. They change the world. They let us see what could be, what might be. A few dimensions over, something like this could be happening. Children who read them find acceptance in characters that are like them, good at math, at English, quirks in their personalities that echo within anyone who reads them. Like Bradford Wright says, for in these garish comic book images, one glimpses a crude, exaggerated, and absurd caricature of the American experience tailored for young tastes. Comic books are the most revealing form of art our society has. Everything in them is exaggerated. They're used for social commentary, for platforms of change. They show us the world from outside of ourselves, poking fun at issues we take too seriously, and drawing attention to those we don't take seriously enough. However, they still show us powerful women in compromising positions, breasts bared, skirts flared, catering to male sexual fantasy. Women today are still sneered at for their sexual promiscuity or lack of it. Slut-shaming, as it is colloquially called, comes from all directions. A woman can lose her virginity at 16 and get called a whore. A man loses his at 16 and he gets congratulations. The point is that sexism is still rampant in our society. A woman can be a CEO or she can become the President of the United States, but she can't escape someone telling her she's only there because she slept her way to the top. She cannot run speculation about her bedroom prowess or the number of sexual partners she's had. Comic books show us strange worlds, better worlds and worse ones, vast reflections of our own world and its problems. Sexism is as rampant in these alternate views as it is in the real world, and that is such a shame, because it's teaching readers that women can be strong, but only on a man's terms. There is only one way to fix the way women are shown in comic books and in other visual media, and that is to support feminist artists and writers. Let them know that we're tired of the blatant sexism that seems to be all the media is today.